Hello everyone, my name is Zach and I'm with MTG Pokehero. Today we're going to be going over our Ixalan spoilers, and I thought we would start off with the vampires. The vampires are really interesting. If you guys haven't watched the world building video for Ixalan, you need to go check that out. It's really awesome just being able to see that and how they came up with the concept for these guys. Our first vampire is Queen's of a Soldier. It's 1 generic mana and a black creature vampire for a common 2/2. Basically, we've got a 2/2 bear. You know, you're going to play it in sealed. You're going to play it in draft. It'll probably go in, commander, maybe. It doesn't really have, it doesn't have any ability, but I can see people maybe sub this out for something a little bit cheaper in their vampire commander deck, or if they're just getting started on it. I don't know if it'll see standard play. The only way it sees it is if we start getting some really, bonkers, vampire creatures or some major support. This card I can get behind, though. Deathless Agent, it's 4 generic mana, 2 black. That's for a uncommon Vampire Knight. A flying tap, 3 untap vampires you control. Return Deathless Agent from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. So it's a 4/4. So it beats out a Braid, Lightning Strike, Fatal Push, and Harness Lightning if they don't have more than 3 energy. And then not only that, it just really dies to walk the plank. So it's pretty good. It's a reoccurring threat. You're definitely going to pay this unlimited. It's a bomb. It's just a reoccurring threat that just keeps coming back and taking over. Maybe it'll be put into a commander deck. If they really want it, I can see it though. But all in all, it's a pretty decent vampire. I'm going to play it. Alright, our next one is a Duskborn Sky Marcher for white. It's a vampire cleric, uncommon flying. Let's pay a white, tap, target attacking vampire gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So, first of all, it has evasion. It's a 1/1 fly. Still pretty good. But, and the other deal about its ability is you can basically move its 1/1 over to another creature, just kind of depending on how everything goes and how the board is shaping up. But all in all, it's a pretty decent 1/1. Our next is Call the Feast. It's 2 generic mana, white and black, sorcery for an uncommon. It creates 3 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. One of the main deals that they made about in the world building is how they want to show vampires the Conquistadors. So one of the designers was basically I want them all to have hats. And right there in the middle is our very first hat guy. It's supposed to show the 2 points. They're supposed to be the fangs of it. I really like the concept of it. Being able to play 3 guys for 4 mana, but all have lifelink. It's pretty decent. It's going to see, limited play, maybe standard if something weird happens. I have hope for the vampire deck. I really, really do. But we just have to see what kind of support we get. But all in all, it's pretty decent, and as you can see, they took out one of the natives. Okay. Now this is a card I'm super excited about. Bloodcrazed Paladin, 1 generic mana, and a black. Vampire Knight, rare, flash, Bloodcrazed Paladin, enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each creature that died this turn. It's one of ththose cards, you want them to wipe your board, especially if you have a decent board state. I don't see it in a really, mid-range deck. This is definitely your aggro card. We're probably going to see if white-black vampires becomes a thing, mono-black vampires becomes a thing, maybe red-black aggro. But yeah, overall, this is just a really good card. And not only that, it has flash. So legitimately, right after they wipe your board, you play this card, you basically get +1/+1 for all of your guys that died this turn. And then you end up on your turn with possibly anywhere from, a 2/2 to possibly a 7/7 if you had a decent board. It goes well if you had the Call of the Feast. It's at least 4/4. But, going on. Sanctum Seeker. Okay. 2 generic and 2 black. Vampire Knight rare. Whenever vampire controls attacks, each opponent loses life and you gain 1 life. And it's a 3/4. Okay, first of all, it dodges most removal. It dodges, as I mentioned earlier, Abrade, Fatal Push, unless they crack their Fatal Push and they're able to use that. Lightning Strike and Harness Lightning. Then, it just dies to walk the plank, straight out. So, and we've seen abilities like this before, where whenever a creature attacks, they lose a life, we gain a life. I don't know. If the black-white vampire deck becomes a thing, this will go in there. But other than that, it might be kind of like a decent mid-range card to play. It definitely is going to see play in your commander and limited, though. So keep an eye out for that one. Ooh, our next is Bishop of Rebirth. 3 generic mana and 2 white for Vampire Cleric. Rare Vigilance. Whenever Bishop of Rebirth attacks, you may return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's Sun Titan. It's Sun Titan on a stick. I'm not gonna be upset about it. It's just the powers change a little bit. Everybody loves Sun Titan. I love Sun Titan. This is Sun Titan. Basically. It's really good. Maybe if we have, as I was mentioning earlier, maybe that white-black aggro deck, this being at the top of your curve, being able to return your Bloodgrace Paladin if you had a couple guys die this turn, or just being able to do some different stuff. That's a really good card, and definitely we might see it in Standard. I have more hope for this one than I do a couple of the other ones. But definitely it's going to go in Commander and Limited. Limited Bomb. Bring it back. Keep bringing them back, and it's going to be something people are going to have to deal with. And as I mentioned, basically the only thing it dies is if Harness Lightning has a no energy, they wipe your board, or the Walk the Plank. Walk the Plank is going to be really good. Our next card is Sangreum Syncrement. X and 2 white. You gain twice X life, put Sangreum Syncrement at the bottom of its owner's library. I kind of like how it comes back. It's really interesting to just be able to the whole aspect of gaining life for this. Because in the vampires, they're trying, to gain this super everlasting, sustaining life by looking for the sun, and this is kind of showing how they're looking for it, as far as I can tell. It's a decent card, but realistically, it's one of those rares that makes you want to play it, but you're not, it's not really going to see Standard play. Maybe some limited, probably in EDH, but other than that, I don't see it happening anywhere else. Now, this is a card I can get behind. Our next card is Marvin Fiend, Dusk Apostle. 2 generic, 1 white, legendary vampire cleric. Whenever 1 or more non-token vampires attack, you can create a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. And it's a 2/2. Okay. So it's a 2/2 that does a thing. And it's legendary. It's going to be played in limited. Commander, you're going to see this. But Standard, maybe? But other than that, it's a decent card, and it looks like it's going to be fun. We've seen cards like this, like Bygone Bishop, but then again, Bygone Bishop had flying. There's a couple other cards that used to create tokens for the same price, and they really didn't see play. We're going to have to see what happens, what the support looks like for vampires. But all in all, I like it. I think it's a pretty cool card. Okay, our last card is Megan's Murder Vana. It's 3 generic mana, black and white legendary vampire knight. Vigilance, lifelink. You tap it, pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn. And it's a 4/4. Okay, so I think the one thing I saw people were kind of complaining about this card is that it's sorcery speed. Okay? I understand. We're used to doing broken things. But, on your turn, paying 7 life and taking out, a Planeswalker, or their biggest blocker, or just some, enchantment, or something ridiculous. It's a pretty decent thing, and it seems like vampires, we're going to be, from what I can tell, is we're going to be getting some gaining life effects. And 7 life really may not be that big of a deal. Hopefully. 7 life is still a lot, though. So, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I can see this in Commander. Limited, it's going to be really... It should be okay in Limited. I mean, it's got Vigilance and Lifelink. We'll just have to see where it goes. As far as Standard, I don't see it at all. If you guys see it, please let me know. But then again, it's the amount of removal that we have. It only dies to a few pieces. But anyways, that's our very first Ixalan spoilers. I just wanted to do vampires because they kind of hold a special place in my heart, and I think in a lot of different people's hearts. So, just kind of want to talk about them for a little bit, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Remember, like, subscribe if you want more content. We're getting ready to knock out a couple of the other major creature tropes, so I should have those posted up by today. But again, thanks for your time, and just remember, may the top decks be forever in your favor.